Hello and welcome to Plus TV's Tea Time. On this program, we bring you the latest updates, the latest scoop, and the latest news in the world of entertainment. I'm Tokunbo Tairu, and my co-anchors are waiting to say hello as well. Hello, guys.
Hi, Tokunbo.
Hi, I'm Yemi.
What's up, Tokes?
On today's episode, we bring you the most recent developments regarding Eric Mane's case against Runtown. And you won't believe Small Doctor's shocking revelation. We'll be revealing that to you later on in the show. Also on this episode, can you guess which Hollywood celebrity has been named Ghana's ambassador for film? And what are the Obamas up to now? We'll find out all about their latest venture later on. It's time to dig right into the stories, and we're starting first with the story on Douglas Agu, popularly known as Runtown, who has been dragged in and out of court by his former record label, Eric Mane, for an alleged breach of contract and was being sued for 65 million naira in damages. The verdict is that Runtown is finally off the hook, as his case was slated for hearing at the Federal High Court, Lagos, yesterday, the 22nd of May 2018. But Eric Mane's lawyer announced to court that it was withdrawing the case and that the court consequently struck it out. The label had initially sued Runtown for failing in his contractual obligations by recording an album without his record label's approval and performing at shows without consent. The record label also claimed that Runtown was knee-deep in debt to them after receiving loans for a luxury car and also engaging in unauthorized collaborations, which made the label lose in royalties. So this is quite a different, interesting case. Well, not exactly interesting, because he's always been having problems with the record labels, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, Ife, what's your take on this?
I just think it's the fact that record labels in Nigeria, they don't have a good structure. Like, they're not organized enough. Some of them don't even know anything about owning record labels. They just think, oh, music is lucrative now.
Yeah,
so
let's get into it.
You see an engineer saying this is the owner of a record. You don't even have an idea about running a record label. And you're calling yourself the CEO, the executive producer, and things like that. So I think that's the case with Runtown. Now, they don't have a structured agreement. Now, you just get a lawyer, not even an entertainment lawyer, maybe a property lawyer, to create a contract for an artist. How would that work? Do you understand? Yes, a lawyer should have an idea of everything, but it won't be like getting an entertainment lawyer. How many entertainment lawyers do we even have in Nigeria to start with? You get me? So that's the beginning of the problem, the fact that there's no proper structure. And then the fact that once you start blowing and you start attaining a certain level of fame, you become like a cash cow to them. They milk you and then look at Wizkid and Banky W.
Yeah.
Dude was making so much money, and then it was getting like 30%. Yes, you found him, but is that fair? Do you get?
But the thing is, regardless of if it's fair or not, and at the end of the day, the record label has to make money. I'm just going to point out that like in this case, they were saying basically that he was performing shows that the record label weren't aware of,
but
and they weren't getting the full money. I do not think that they have a legal ground to stand on that basis.
No, they do actually, if it was in his contract. But now, Runtown is saying that he travels. Okay, there was this deal he had with DJ Khaled. He got DJ Khaled to be on the song. He said they paid over $40,000 to be the aside logistic.
Right.
The record label didn't pay for
which
it. Which he paid for from his
own pocket, right.
And they didn't pay for it. And instead of them to give him kudos, like, oh yeah, you did a good thing, the guy was still pissed. The Dilly guy, the record label.
All right, Ife, let me hear what the ladies have to say on this. Let me start with you, Lakbe. What's your initial reaction to this issue?
I think I completely agree with Ife, second time ever. I think, no, he's making really, really good points here, because I think that's a lot of the reasons why they always collapse, because there's no structure. It's people that are learning on the job and then essentially exploiting the artists who are their cash cows. Runtown's thing's been going on for a while. We've heard about Kiss Daniel, we've heard about Wizkid, we've heard about Brymo. Like, there's been so many of them that have these kind of failed, and even Iyanya. And we've heard about so many of these stories where the structure is what fails them. So there does need to be a lot of work done into that. And if entertainment is going to be our second biggest export in the country now, we do need to invest properly in structure. So like entertainment lawyers, royalties, proper like PR structures that we're going to have, instead of just doing whatever is going to make people get attention, or you know, just trying to make money really quickly by doing shows and stuff like that. There's no like progression, which is why all these artists end up abroad and in probably worse contracts.
If it's not in his contract that he is able to do side projects, because a lot of people put in their contracts that their ability to do side projects, but if it's not explicitly said that he cannot do it, that he can't do side projects,
something. But do you know the problem with most of this, apart from the structure and apart from this record label, this artist too, out of desperation, they just sign anything.
Yeah.
They don't even go there.
So they don't look at the fine print, basically.
Like someone was talking about when he saw a guy signing by the poolside, he just sat down there and he was about to sign a contract. You get, like, you didn't even read through. He didn't come with anyone else. They just told him they wanted to sign.
Parties,
so
it's the record label and the artist.
Yeah,
but in this case, though, just to finalize, on this case, the record company was saying that he was indebted to them because he borrowed money to buy cars.
Now, the case is complicated. It's been going on since 2015, thereabout. It's really complicated. Now, is the record label owner will tell him, I want to give you a gift. He gives him a Rolex wristwatch, about 16 million naira. Then when he says he wants to go through the books, then they now include the Rolex.
But he didn't
which they gave exactly, which he never asked for.
So that actually happened with Runtown. And then he had to return the Rolex back and tell them that he needs to call his own auditors to go through the books.
But do you know what happened with the car, though? Is that the same thing that happened with the car as well? That's the same thing that happened
now. It was part of his signing agreement, like they were going to buy him a luxury car, and they asked him what car does he want. And since he sang Gallardo, he came out with Gallardo. Brother just settled for a Lamborghini Gallardo, you get. And then now, after he got the Gallardo, they're telling him that car is worth about 150 million naira. So you're indebted to us for a certain amount. And then they're suing him for about 65 million naira in damages. Okay, all right then.
We're going to go over now to our newsroom for a report from our social media analyst, Buki November. Buki November, it's over to you.
Thanks, Tokumba. So our trending topic today is Small Doctor. In a recent interview with TV personality, a TV host, and fashion icon Ebuka, Small Doctor mentioned a few things that are worthy of note. First is that he has 2 children, one a 14-year-old and the other a 4-year-old. And he had these children during a time he calls his not-so-responsible time, the time of his life, Secondly, he used to be a bus conductor and an Okada rider, and he did this for, give or take, 10 years of his life. And then finally, he used to sleep in what we call Danfo, that's a public transport, that's bus. That used to be his home, and he lived in a bus for several years. So of all the things he mentioned during this interview, the one thing that actually struck me the most was the part of having kids. When he has a kid, 14, and he has another one, 4. Now, I checked online, and this is still a developing story, of course, but then we checked online and found out that Small Doctor is 21 years old. Now, I don't know how good your mathematics is, but let's do a bit of calculation, please. Small Doctor is 21 years old. He has a 14-year-old kid, which means take 14 out of 21, that's 7. You don't believe me, let's count it. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, that's 7. So from what he said, Small Doctor had his first child when he was 7 years old. 7-year-olds are having kids these days. Amazing, right? Amazing. Like I said earlier on, this story is still developing, but social media fans definitely had things to say about it. I mean, we can forgive everything else, but this age part, it just doesn't add up. Let's check out a few comments from social media. You want to see more comments? Just stick with us. As soon as there are more comments on this topic, we'll bring them to you. And that's all from me here in the newsroom. Back to you, Tokumbo.
All right then, Buki, thank you very much for that wonderful intro. We'll take a quick break right now, but when we come back, we'll continue with the small doctor story. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
You know, from day one, Globe makes life easier. They brought us unbelievable data packages and even an optic fiber cable to make sure we optimize. There are two things in our lives we depend on: the communication and information, voice and data. Whether you sell, buy, learn, teach, serve, or lead, it really comes down to those two things: voice and data. Today's world is all about you. You want what you want, how you want it, and Glow delivers. That's why Glow is introducing Flexi, the freedom to use voice and data the way you like on every recharge. No plan, no hassle, easy.
Now, on every recharge, Glow Flexi automatically gives the freedom to use voice and data as you like. At the best rates in town, no plan, no hassle.
The grandmasters of data. Glow.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV. We're moving on to our next story. Nigerian singer Temitope Adekunle, popularly known as Small Doctor, has revealed in a recent interview that he was a bus conductor for almost a decade. Recalling on the disclosure, Small Doctor clarified that irrespective of his early successes in his neighborhood, he had to make a living detailing his regular bus routes in Lagos, from Agege to Ikeja, from Ikeja to Maryland, and from Maryland to Yaba. So, I don't even know where to start because this is quite an interesting story, a shocking revelation, and let me go to you. I was going to go to you, Fair, but let me come to you quickly. Yeah, let's just hear. Yes, what do you think about this? This is a Nigerian celebrity. He has just revealed this. In fact, before we go to that, let's look at it from an American perspective. If an American person reveals, a celebrity in America reveals that he used to be a bus driver, what would you say?
Who cares? That's how I don't
it's
care.
Not that shocking, is it?
Yeah, it's like, okay, congratulations to you. Whatever.
I get where Takumba's going with it. Like, in the grand scheme of things, if someone like Jay-Z said that he used to be a bus driver, I think in America it's less of a shock because most people that are famous came from like nothing anyway.
Yeah, like Jay-Z used to sell drugs.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, oh, so you were also a bus driver while you sold drugs. Was that your cover? Like,
that's even a better come-up story than like being a drug dealer. So like, I don't think it's much of a I think using the American thing doesn't really work.
I think a lot of people are thinking about the age aspect of it. Like I guess a lot of people was telling me that like you can be very, very young and be a bus conductor. Like to me, first of all, you guys call it a bus.
Even before you get into that, what I really mean is that your initial reaction to him bringing up this revelation that he used to be a bus conductor.
I'm just thinking about all the times I've ridden the Nigerian bus, because it's not a bus, it's a van.
It's a van.
It's a van. It's not a bus. I'm just thinking about the guy who's screaming CMS, CMS. And I'm like thinking of Small Doctor doing
She does that so well, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not too bougie to ride a bus. Look.
You've actually been on one?
Yes, you have. She told us about
get to work.
experience. Good heavens.
No, you did.
No, I used to get to work on the bus.
First experience.
But yeah, no, I don't think
Let's not digress. Your reaction about this whole thing coming to light.
I'm not shocked because his style of music is very street. And he's from the ghetto or street or whatever. And like they've revolutionized this whole like shaku shaku dance and the beat. And the whole thing. Yeah. But my point, where I'm going with that is that it's not a shock because this is where these people are from. Like, if you hear the stories of his other counterparts, like Olamide, like Reminisce, like CDQ, like all those people in that genre and subculture, they've grown up in these kind of environments. So to me, it doesn't really throw me off that he used to be a bus conductor at such a young age. And also, like, if you just go out on the street there, you'll see that these kids that go to school and come back home to hawk and like sell stuff. They're young. So
I can't wait to hear what you've got to say.
For me, when I saw the news and I was like, okay, Small Doctor said he was a bus conductor. It wasn't anything surprising to me. It wasn't even the news.
Okay.
But the news was or is that he was a conductor for nearly a decade.
Yeah.
And then, if you go on Wikipedia, Small Doctor was born in 1996.
Jesus,
right?
he's younger than me.
Yeah, he's 21. Now, he claims, but now you say you've been a conductor
for 10 years.
For nearly...
Well, he said for nearly 10 years.
For nearly a decade. So let's give him 6 years.
That's not
You
new.
rode-
Nine.
let's give him 6.
Let's clarify, because he actually said he did like 3. He said 3 to 4 years. He wasn't specific. He said 3 to 4 years in a particular area,
right, then.
and then he said 6 to 7 years in another area.
Okay, so let's give him 8 years.
That's more realistic.
It was a bus conductor
6 plus 3.
for 8 years.
Hang on.
Please,
Are you doing
21.
math?
21 minus 8.
If he's going somewhere, let's see.
Relax. 21 minus 8. That gives us what?
I don't know, my math is terrible.
13, right?
Yeah.
So it would be 13. He rode Okada for 2 years. 13 minus 2, that's 12, right? He has a
13 minus 2
14.
is 11.
11.
Yeah.
He has a 14-year-old son and a 4-year-old son.
So how does that work out?
How?
Everything's not adding up, is it? Good heavens.
You guys
This
understand?
man is 40 years old, not telling me anymore. That's the only...
You know what? There was
Unless
actually
he's
an
young.
issue regarding his age. Some people said he's
Unless
in
he's
football
lying,
age.
he's about his age.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because even the guy who interviewed him, Ebuka, when it was like, so how old were you when you had your first child? He was like, I've been one age like that.
he didn't want to
He
say.
didn't want to say. So my question is, why are musicians also having football age?
Well,
It
I
doesn't
guess it's
make
because of the relevance, isn't it? Think about it.
Yeah,
right?
like they won't be appealing to
They won't appeal.
Oh,
age
Because
group
I
anymore.
think there's the same issue with Cora De Bello. Everyone thinks he's, 19 or something, and he's actually a lot older.
Older.
Or he might be younger, I don't know.
No,
but,
he might be 19.
yeah, but there's like because his fan base is like
but
young
not
kids.
Small Doctor. Small Doctor looks old, man. That dude is old.
Yeah, but
And
come
he's
on,
trying-
if you're like, if he's
Streets
like,
make you look old, son.
yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, him being a conductor or was a conductor, it's not surprising.
Surprising.
His
But
style
I
of
think it's
music
like the-
indicates that the lingua that he uses during while he's singing, they're not things that I would say or you would say.
Yeah.
You find out, like, how do you guys even come up with this
With things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ghetto things, I would say, but let's not go
Don't
there.
be so
Don't be so bougie.
Listen.
Coming up
You were
next.
about to get on the bus yesterday.
Coming up next is an entertainment story from the larger African scene. Minister for Tourism in Ghana, Madam Catherine Afeku, has officially unveiled Ghana's ambassador for film as no other person than Austrian-born German Ghanaian Hollywood actor and model Boris Kodjoe. The minister, while at a meeting with the press, made this revelation, eulogizing the actor as a brand and an icon to reckon with. She then asked Boris to take up the mantle as Ghana's film ambassador. Boris accepted the appointment, indicating that he's honored to be the ambassador for his nation and encourages that they work together because that is the only way they can achieve results. So apart from Boris, though, is there...
Apart from Boris, wait. Apart from Boris.
We need
Yes.
to resuscitate Yemi. She's still currently dying.
Oh, right. She's a major fan, yes.
His face.
Yeah, exactly. She can't wait to see him.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for the pictures to come up so I can look at him.
So apart from Boris, was there anyone else, that you think that they might have considered? Yemi, let me start with you.
No.
Because I'm wondering...
Idris Elba, I think.
No, it's just not Ghanaian.
He is. He's half Ghanaian, half Sierra Leonean.
Sierra Leonean.
Get your facts right.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I only know about the Sierra Leone part.
Yeah.
So, do you think this has
Are
to
you
do
sure
with money?
he's
Perhaps they
Afghan,
couldn't.
though?
I mean, they could
Perhaps they
consider
couldn't
him. I don't know
afford
if
Idris. Do you
Yeah,
think that
I
perhaps they couldn't
it's one of
afford
those-
Idris?
Really?
It's
Is
one of
Boris worth less than Idris?
Oh, absolutely. Boris Kodjoe is... Idris Elba is an A-list top
He's an
actor.
A-list celebrity,
Boris
yeah.
Kodjoe is on shows that get canceled like
Probably
after
a
half the
C-list.
season.
Oh, fair enough, fair
Like,
enough.
Boris Kodjoe is not...
And also, I don't think Idris Elba really claims his Ghanaian side as much as he claims his Sierra
Sierra
Leonean
Leonean
side.
Sierra Leonean
yeah.
side. Right.
Yeah.
They could have given it to someone else, though, surely. There's
That's
a
what I was
Shaq.
thinking. That's what mine was. Is there
one
no
and
one
only.
else?
Big Shaq. Your one and only.
man's
not-
not the heart.
Okay, so what will this mean for Boris, though? Now that he's gotten this position, what would that help him in any way, shape, or
No,
form?
but I can't wait till the next movie he's in so I can stare at him for 45 minutes and then it get canceled.
But do you think that he might have had some financial gain to this?
To his
No,
career.
I think it's something that's doing like charity.
It's
just doing
honorary, isn't it?
Yeah.
For them.
Just
I don't
doing
think
it
it's
for
more
his
him
thing.
because
But I think this would draw him closer to his roots. It might go.
But he like
a little
visits
bit more.
Ghana like
he goes
Regularly.
regularly, like
Lately.
with his wife and everything.
I don't think it's going to do anything for his
Yeah,
career.
I don't at all.
Okay, in fact, you know what? I'm going to come to you quickly. It's just that something came to mind when you were saying something about his relevance with regards to Gollywood and Ghana. And I'm just thinking that because of what you just said now, that Gollywood may not be that strong in the film industry, perhaps that's why they're bringing him to, you know, enliven things
not
up.
That strong
Exactly. No, but as far as they're concerned, he's a very successful American actor.
Is he? They have Google, right?
They know.
They know. But what I'm saying is that as far as they're concerned,
Brown Sugar was a very successful movie.
Exactly. So I think that's why they're saying that he should be the ambassador.
Yeah, Brown Sugar was successful. Were you born then, 2002?
Good heavens, we're not even going to go there.
If I don't throw this at your head, are you out of your mind?
All right, Ife, let me let you speak because I know you've lived in Ghana for some time.
Okay, so first, Ghanaians like to emulate Nigerians a lot. And then, yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it with any disrespect, but we're a lot advanced than them when it comes to the movie industry, music industry, and all of that. That's a very whack clap back, by the way. So, as I was saying, so they like to emulate us a lot. Don't be surprised if they come up with their own 9 billion CD movie saying starring Boris
Kodjoe.
Do you understand? So don't be surprised. I think that might actually be the standpoint.
Okay, for which this was put in place.
Yeah, was put in place. I believe it's going to star in one of their movies pretty soon.
I believe it, but I think even if they didn't give him this position, he would have starred in one of their movies. Like, I think he really loves Ghana.
He really loves really well as well. What's that light-skinned guy? Michael.
He would have done that maybe on his own accord. But right now, they can't even tell him, oh, we don't have so much money to pay you, but can you do this for us? And him being the film ambassador, of course, he can't turn it down. You get so.
Does anyone know if he speaks any of the Ghanaian languages whatsoever?
Probably not knowing African.
You probably know Akwaba.
You see, the reason why I ask, the reason why I ask is I saw a video of him speaking perfect German.
Perfect German.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, I don't know if he speaks,
I believe he does know a little.
A little.
Of course he would know a little.
To the best of my knowledge, I know he knows a little, but I don't know if he's very fluent, as he is in German.
And the Ghanaian language is very easy to learn. So
all right. Still on today's program, the latest venture for the Obamas. We're going to be finding out that's all coming up right after this break.
It is not yet over. The Get to Latin Millions promo is still on. 110 people have won up to 65 million naira already, and you can be one of them, as there is 31 million naira still available to be won. You stand a chance to become a millionaire. All you have to do is walk into a Fidelity Bank near you and open an account with 10,000 naira or pay in 10,000 naira to your already existing account. And you stand a chance to win 1 million, 2 million, and 3 million naira in the monthly draw. Grow your account to 50,000 naira and stand a chance to win up to 5 million naira. That's not all. Lots of consolation prizes like refrigerators and generators to be won. Rush now to the Fidelity Bank near you and start saving for a chance to become a millionaire in the Fidelity Get a Lot in Millions promo.
We're Fidelity. We keep our word.
I don't get a lot, God do it.
Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time, and up next is our final story. Former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama have taken on a multi-year deal alongside starting up their own production company called Higher Ground Productions, with a view to providing content to Netflix. Netflix have said in their recently released statement that the Obamas would produce a diverse mix of content, including docuseries, documentaries, and features. On the other hand, the Obamas have said Netflix's unparalleled service is a natural fit for the kinds of stories they want to share, and that they look forward to starting this exciting new partnership. So let me start with you, Yemi. You've gone on giggly. What's going on?
Sorry, I tried to bite my mic, but it didn't. Look, continue, sorry.
Where's your mic?
It didn't work.
It's right here.
Right, okay.
Continue.
So do you think the Obamas are qualified to do this kind of inspirational stories, docuseries, documentaries, because they have a political past and they've got experience in political things? This is entertainment. It's a broad new totally new. So
we, like, I think especially all of us know that, like, just because you don't have a background in entertainment doesn't mean that you're not qualified or can be able to spread the stories that people want to see. A lot of people don't have trained backgrounds in entertainment but still succeed and actually are some of the people who bring the most and the best stories to life.
Sure.
I think the fact that they're coming from the heart of trying to, you know, share the stories, because they said that they were trying to share the stories that they've heard over the years, whether they're in the White House, and be able to turn those into inspirational movies and documentaries and series. And I think that that's, what is the word I'm looking for? Admirable.
All right, like, let me ask you, you know, do you think this will be, who do you think is likely to benefit the most, Netflix or the Obamas?
Well, Netflix, obviously, because they'll be getting a lot more traffic. They'll be getting a lot more unusual and different content to what they already have. And I think in terms of Barack and Michelle, they'll just be staying more relevant. I think that's the only benefit that they'll get from that. And also, it's a very different direction for former heads of state or, to kind of go down. Usually they just kind of retire off into the background and live off their investments.
Exactly. But show up at the next inauguration.
I know, right? Have another barbecue or something. But no, this definitely makes them a lot more relevant. And also it keeps them engaged with a younger audience. And that's key. That's very key. True. So only God knows what they're going to do with this exposure, but it's different and it's exciting.
And they already based on what you've just said now, that they may have some political aspirations later in the future.
This is my point. That's what I'm saying. We don't know what they're going to do.
Michelle 2020.
Come on. She needs to be really.
I can't wait to hear from you, though, Ife. Sorry,
okay.
I know you. Yeah.
No, no, you go. You go.
Okay,
you go.
you want to know if it will benefit them. I think it will benefit both parties. Because first of all, they would be paying them for this. Shonda Rhimes is getting paid about $3 million.
So there will be some financial lucrative deal for
them. That won't be the
$3 million. That doesn't sound right.
300 million, sorry.
Okay, 300. I was going to say, Shonda's worth way more than that.
Yeah, $300 million.
But it won't be the motive. It won't be the motivation.
No, it wouldn't be the motive, but it would also keep them relevant.
Hey, college is
and
expensive.
They're going to be getting money. Yes, you're right. It will draw traffic to Netflix. So I think both parties will be benefiting.
I mean, because
you were going to say,
I was going to say, because they have two things based off of Barack Obama, the movie Barry, and they have a South Side with You, I think, also
is that
about
the one with
Barack and Michelle. Those two did very well on Netflix. They did very, very well.
Barack's dream come true because he has always shown interest in going into media. And sharing people's stories and sharing political views.
Can I just ask you, do you think then it's actually Barack, not Michelle's idea?
No, I think
it's both.
First of all, Michelle is the brains behind the operation of that couple. Let's be real here. Okay, let's be real.
No, but the thing is, Barack has always had a desire to be great in life.
Yeah, and Michelle has also had the desire and the means to be great in life. This was a whole list.
No, but the thing is, she wasn't even looking to go that far in life, because I've watched his biography, and it was down to him. She actually at one point said to him
biography or biopic, because biopics are exaggerated. Let's be clear here.
No, but both of them were actually expressing themselves. It wasn't like one of those where people say they were the ones speaking about it. Okay. And it was like one of the interviews that they had with his brother, Michelle Obama's brother. She was the one saying that Michelle actually gave him 3 chances, and she said after 3 chances she wasn't going to support him any further, and that he should just get a regular job.
As she
should. So what I'm saying is that Obama has always wanted to make a difference. His father wanted to make a difference, and he wanted to continue in that life.
His father.
Okay.
Yes, his father in Kenya.
His father wanted to make a difference.
In Kenya. So he got...
In Kenya.
Why do you have a problem with his father wanted to make a difference?
Who cares?
His dad has nothing
to do with this conversation.
His dad had nothing to do with
I think you guys need to watch his documentary again, because he said he had so many influences, he had to go back to Kenya to face his roots.
But he grew up with his mum's side.
I know. That's why he had to go back to actually connect with his father's side.
Can we go to the next question? Because I don't feel comfortable with this question.
What's the next question? Because I wanted to address something. I wanted to address what Yemi said. You don't have to have a media background, because you were asking if they were qualified enough to do this. You don't have to have a media background, one.
Yeah, she said
so. And secondly, they're going to hire producers.
Yeah,
So-
they'll probably be just executive.
And
executive
also,
producers.
Netflix is taking over everything. Netflix, watch out.
bought every
They
single
bought
content.
the best producer from Fox.
Do you think this is a hostile takeover?
Yes, because they poached Ryan Murphy from Fox. They poached Shonda Rhimes from
have
ABC.
Yeah,
yes,
Ryan Murphy's
and now
gone.
they have
And finally-
now they have the Obamas.
Control.
Okay.
And, like that's C-SPAN. That they've all everyone.
Let's
They're
see what
taking
happens.
over
We're
everything.
watching.
Yes, watch
They're
this
literally
space, as
taking
they
over
say.
everything. Goodbye
All
to
right,
these channels.
unfortunately, that's all we've got time for. But before I go, a big thank you to my co-anchors as well as my entire production team. Thank you, guys. Join us tomorrow for yet another exciting edition. Until then, I'm Tokumbo Taiwo saying thanks for watching and have a great day.